I mean, their size, first off. You got Steinbach, who's one of the best players in the league as a freshman, and then Kepnong down low is just another monster in there. And then they have so many talented guys with Diallo. Claude obviously got hurt, but then you have Yates coming back from injury, and we know he can get going. He killed us last year when he played for USC. So, super talented team. They're tough and they're well coached, so it's going to be a challenge just like every night in the Big Ten.
How do you handle recovery and staying fresh when you have a stretch like this where it's just been a bunch of 2-3 day gap between games?
Yeah, I feel like I've kind of gotten to a pretty good routine, just knowing how to listen to my body. So if you have an off day, you got to take it, and especially if you play a lot of minutes the previous day. So I've gotten pretty good at just listening to how my body feels, so I can give it time to recover, and that's the main thing. You just have to have time, and we won't have an off day, but it'll be an easier day after Washington. So you have to still take it lighter and just make sure you don't overdo it to where you can still be fresh for the most important times.
How did you learn that? Is that something you learned over the course of your career of like what your body's telling you, or when do you think you figured that out?
Yeah, I learned that pretty early because, I really didn't start working hard in basketball till I got to college, which was the first summer. And I was working out a lot, and I overdid it, and my knees started really bothering me. To get to the point to where you can handle it, and then when you need a break, you got to take it too.
What is your routine? Like, what works for you? Is it yoga, cold tub? Like, what have you found that works for you?
It kind of depends, because I mean, with the way I play, I get different types of injuries every single game. Fortunately, nothing too major right now, but I'll do different stretches based on where I'm hurting, and a lot of it is just kind of the basic stuff we do every single day with Kurt, and it just helps keep my body loose. I wouldn't say I'm as like diligent as someone like Rink, who has more strict routine, but a lot of it is just listening to, what is hurting that day, and all bumps and bruises that I just focus on a little bit mainly.
You mentioned the way you play, despite being one of the shorter guys on the court, you beat the team in defensive rebounding. When did rebounding become kind of a natural instinct for you? When did you start to kind of notice that that's something that you can do well despite limited snatching?
Yeah, I mean, I've always been a pretty good rebounder, just like tracking the ball. You see it with steals too. Um, and it's just like a lot of the rebounds I get are loose balls that are tough for anyone to get to, and I feel like I can always get there first. And um, I I've had a big jump in confidence this year. You guys have seen that, and even with rebounding, just how many I was getting early on, I was like, okay, I can really do this every single night. And last year I wasn't getting 5 rebounds a game, but I would have games with a lot of rebounds. And this year it's almost been a mental breakthrough where I'm like, I can do this every single night and not feel like I'm limited in stature. And I've proved that now doing it over half the season. But yeah, I mean, it's just the main thing is I feel like I want to get every loose ball, and I'm going to do everything I can to do that, and you'll start getting rebounds. And I don't realize how many rebounds I have till the game's over, and I'm like, oh wow, I had 9 rebounds versus Ohio State. I would have guessed I had 3 or something, and it just happens to be that way. So it's just playing hard and uh, kind of tracking having a nose for the ball is kind of what's helped me get that.
You guys, the last 2 games have able to increase leads with Frank on the bench. How much confidence does that give you if things get tight, March, or he's in foul trouble, whatever? You guys can still find ways to win.
I mean, we've been joking with Rink that he's out of the rotation now because we played so well without him. But yeah, it's just it shows that if he is in foul trouble or gets a minor like injury and he has to go out of the game, it shows that we can play well without him. And early on, I don't think we had the confidence that we could do that. And these last few games have proved that even if he is on the bench, other guys can step up and we can still have our offense and execute the same way if he's not out there. And the main thing is giving his legs rest. So him being fresh for us is going to be huge coming down the stretch, especially later in the season when people start getting tired. And getting him that rest in these past few games has been huge for us.
Sam, you guys have the highest ranking in your program history at number 7 as a player on the team. What does that mean?
We try not to think about that too much right now, just because we have so many goals that we haven't completed yet. But I kind of like to sit back and just think about where I came from in this, as like being a part of the program. And we lost, I don't remember how many Big Ten games in a row, but going from, what was it, like 0-14 start or something in Big Ten my freshman year to being 18-0 and off to the best start in school history. That's an amazing feeling, and you don't want to get too caught up in it right now, just because we have to keep improving and you can't get complacent. But it's definitely a good feeling, and we're going to keep trying to continue to make it better.
Sam, we obviously see the growth in Braden Frager, but what behind the scenes are there little things you've noticed about him just throughout this season that are picking up, that are helping him?
Yeah, I mean, just the growth and maturity, and that's been his main thing since getting here, is just being a little bit more diligent and playing more fundamentally sound, because he's always been so skilled, and now he's really starting to get that. Like, he had the dunk the other night against Oregon. He sprinted back on defense. Like, that's something he wouldn't have done earlier in the season, and that translates to playing better in general, because I mean, everyone knows it. When you do the right things in basketball, you get rewarded, and he's just really playing the right way right now, and he's such a talented player that he can go give you 20 while doing that.
Is that part of the player-led or more coach-led, that maturity?
I think the coaches really started off with that, and then, obviously a ton of it is Braden himself maturing and being able to do that. But yes, I feel like players just making sure he's doing that and staying on top of him is just another layer of, like, he realizes that, yes, I have to do that for the team, and he's been amazing at that.
Coach was asked about Indiana and finishing off the championship run last night, and just sort of the motivation you guys as a teammate able to use from that. How do you guys see that as players, just in a non-traditional team on the college football side, motivated, obviously, the program?
I mean, you don't think about it too much because it's a completely different situation, different sport, but it certainly doesn't hurt the confidence that something like that can happen in our sport. And, like I said, there's differences in, like, how they did it and how we're doing it, but there's definitely something to it to where, you feel like, hey, they did it, we can do it too. Not that we didn't think we could do it, but yeah, it's just kind of a point being proven by them.
Sam, Hoiberg, you've held 3 of your last 11 opponents in the 50s. So defensively, has that always been a part of this team's makeup? Are you guys going to be able to defend really well, or is that just kind of a learned skill as a person?
I mean, I think when people initially looked at this roster, they probably didn't think of us as a defensive team, but we never really put any, labels on ourselves. We didn't think, like, hey, we're just going to be a 3-point shooting team and defense is whatever. We wanted to be good at both, and my goal for the season was top 20 in both offense and defense. So I had the confidence that we could be a really good defensive team, especially as one of the leaders on that end. And yeah, with the IQ we got of guys and the buy-in we've had, that's the most important thing with how we guard. And yeah, I really don't see a ceiling to our defensive team or as a team. And yeah, I don't think we really thought ourselves as a non-defensive team per se.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thanks, guys.